Welcome back to CB Fire TV. Now in Matthew 4, we see the temptation of Jesus. And we see Satan coming to Jesus at a time where Jesus is very weak. He's fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. And when Satan comes to Jesus, he says, "If you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread." And Jesus replied to Satan and said, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that comes from the mouth of God." Now in other versions it says proceedeth. That word proceedeth means continue, to continue to come from the mouth of God. Now, number one, we see that in the state Jesus is in his humanity, he is weak and his body is crying out for food and water. And Satan comes to try and get Jesus to question his own identity. Now in the chapter before, we see that the heavens opened after Jesus was baptized. The heavens opened and God declared that this is his son. So he's declared his identity already. So Satan tries to hit Jesus on that level and it doesn't work. But what we also see is that Jesus says to Satan that I'm not living by bread alone. I'm living by every word that proceedeth, that comes from the mouth of God. What am I trying to say? We are trying to live life through things that God didn't ordain. Yes, the word of God turns into tangible things, but we are trying to live by tangible things that God didn't permit us to live by. We are living by things that Jesus has spoken, that God has spoken from his mouth, and that he continues to say, and it is made tangible. So my encouragement for you today is, do not live by things that we are trying to make tangible for ourselves. Live by what God is ordaining for us to live by, what God is saying, what comes out of the mouth of God, which is made tangible. The word of God is made tangible. That is the encouragement today. Many of us are trying to live by something, by us making it tangible for ourselves. But Satan was also trying to get Jesus to come out of the will of God and do something to suit his body. Many of us are willing to move and live outside of the will of God for something tangible just to survive. And the Lord is not calling for us to do that. There's evidence that Jesus stayed in the will of God and God kept him. He preserved him because he stayed in the will of God. My encouragement for you today is stay in the will of God. Live by the words that are proceeding out of the mouth of God over your life, because there is a word over your life that God continues to speak. And it is made tangible. It is being made tangible even now over your life. So find out what it is and live by that. Do not try and make something that's not ordained by God to live by. That's an idol. That causes you to come out of the will of God. That is my encouragement for you today.